Hello everybody, and welcome to another exciting oil painting video. I apologize that I've been gone so long. I think it's going to be a month. But I was sick, and then I had a show, and I had all kinds of stuff happening. And I got the show season starting up in a few more weeks. So the Wednesdays that I was going to do, I'm just going back to Sunday only. On show weekends, it'll be Mondays that I'll post, because Sundays I get home too late. However, I will do my best not to miss as much time as I did this time. So, we are doing another 16 by 20. And this is the last one we're going to do with water mixable oil paint by itself. And what I mean by that is I'm starting to run out of some of the colors. So I'm going to start mixing it with some of my normal Griffin Alkyd paint until it's all Griffin Alkyd. So you're going to see how you mix oil paints together, and they work out just as well. The only difference is it's not going to be water mixable at the time, so I'm going to have to use the Bristle Magic, or if I've got any of the Gamasol left over. So, remember how we always used to play with this? Kind of get something going. This is Payne's Gray and Phthalo Green. And we're going to go with this. Yeah, right now it is what? 23rd. My goodness. 23rd of March already. And I tell you what, it's chilly out here. It's windy. It's chilly. I'm looking forward to spring weather. Okay. Let's see what we're going to do here. Let's go with that. We'll have the mountain the whole width of the width here. Now, one of the things I am going to start doing, and I hope you will stay tuned, is I am getting to into the habit of doing a lot more palette knife only works in my studio. My wife's not too thrilled about it because she likes the smoother look, and a lot of people do. And then there's a lot of people that like the palette knife, and I love the palette knife. So I'm going to be doing a lot more palette knife work, and those are what my videos are going to be for a while. I'm still going to do some of these with regular Griffin Alkyd oil paints here and there. But for a while now, probably starting, let's see, I still have more of the Holbein. Those will take forever with the palette knife. So I'd say another 3 or 4 paintings with the Holbeins. And after that, it'll start being more palette knife. One of the things you're going to find with the palette knife that I love, and a lot of my clients love too, is the incredible texture you get with it. Now you can go overboard a little bit depending on who you talk to. So I'm working on getting it a little less crazy texture and a little more, I don't want to say smoother because it's a palette knife, but smoother for a palette knife. Then I'm going to go from there. So I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go down a little bit. We're still going to do our concept the same. And we're basically going to make stuff up as we go. It's all going to look similar, and it's all going to look different. You're going to have similar compositions, but everything's still going to look different. I hope that makes sense. It will as we go on. And you've seen a little of that already. Okay, if you guessed by now, if you watched any of my paintings, this is going to be the water, not what I did. So I changed that already, and that's good. There we go. And the water will be in here, and then these will be mountains and cliffs and everything else going. I haven't decided if I'm going to have a waterfall yet. I'm thinking I have some land jettisoning out here, just so this whole thing isn't water only. As much as I love water, I don't want it to be just that. This will probably be water. Seriously. Yeah, I like that. Okay, now I think we're going to go with the sky. Actually, those are big mountains. So the chances of there being foliage behind those that are up is probably slim. So yeah, we're just going to go with the sky. Normally, if the mountains weren't quite as pronounced, we can put foliage back there. You see me do that a bunch of times. But with the way they are right now, I think I'm just going to go with the mountains are the dominant force here. Okay, now I used phthalo blue here, titanium white, and I'm done with the blue. Okay, I'm just done with it. Everything else is going to be that same mixture, but more white as we go. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to be picking up some green here, and that's going to look really cool. It's going to be a little misty. The other thing is too, phthalo blue is a real powerful color, and I don't want the sky to be in your face. Now, I'm going to redo the contours here a little bit so you don't have to worry in this step. And I'm cutting in, basically, the sky into the mountains. But I don't have any highlights or shadows or anything yet. So if you get a little messy here, that's good. You're going to get that into the sky. It's going to look really nice. Yeah, that's going to look real nice. And it's kind of maybe not as pronounced as when we have the land go into the water. But the concept is the same, just not maybe as much. Not as much. And again, I hate to keep stressing this because I'm sure there's a lot of beginners watching this. It still goes by you and your touch and what you think is best. You know, so I hate to tell you I can't tell you this is exact, this is not. This is exactly how it goes, this is not. I can't give you a 2 + 2 = 4 formula for everything. A lot of it has to go by your taste. I mean, you are creating your own masterpiece. So it has to be aesthetically pleasing to you. And in the beginning, don't worry if it's aesthetically pleasing to anybody else. As long as you like it, there's your starting point. You don't have to worry about if anybody likes it at all. As a matter of fact, that should be the least of your concerns. There we go. Okay, I'm going to put in the water now and give me an idea where it's going to be. I'm not going to probably put in all of it yet, but I will put in where I know for sure it'll be water. There we go. And then when I'm going to do this, you see this water going into the cliffs. Oh, what I'm going to do is I'll reestablish the cliffs. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to get the water in now. Now I'm going a little lighter here, but I will add more phthalo blue and phthalo green to get the water the way I want it. And there's a lot of areas where I already have the phthalo green in here. So I want this to be very blue and very green. Not necessarily like, you know, I don't know if I can say mono because it's not one color, but, you know, it's not going to be a 2-color thing, but it's going to be 2-color dominant, if that makes any sense. Green and blue are going to be the dominant colors here. I'm going to have some flowers as I always do. But these 2 colors are going to basically determine the feel of this painting. Now, I am going to try, I've always wanted to, I've always been a fan, and a lot of you older people, since that's everybody watching my videos are older people, you'll probably remember this name. He's not a painter, well, he's dead now, but he wasn't a painter, he was a photographer. But Ansel Adams had a wonderful career with black and white photography. Now, I don't want to do black and white paintings. However, the idea of doing monochromatic paintings, okay, taking a singular color and adding white and not adding white and doing an entire composition like that intrigues me. And I may try that. And you might be the guinea pig to try it with me. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. When I have 700 people following my videos, I think that's built-in guinea pigs right there. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, if you're going to follow my channel, you're going to follow some good stuff and some maybe a little weird stuff. I've never done monochromatic before, so I'm kind of thinking it might be cool to do it live. Well, like we're doing now. And I might do some live stuff. I've been watching on YouTube how there's some artists that I follow that do some live demonstrations, so I might try that and see if that's something you guys like. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. As you can see, my channel is very young. It's still in its infantile stages, with an infantile artist at times doing stuff. But I want to just kind of have fun with this thing. I love painting. I love talking about painting. I want to just kind of let it go. There we go. And right now I'm adding only phthalo green. I was going to add some blue, and now I'm wondering if I'm going to or not. I'm really liking the way this is looking. Really, I don't know, this is kind of cool. I'm smoothing the hell out of this, which once I start using a knife, I won't be able to get this kind of smoothness out of it. Let me see, back up and see what that looks, you know. I'm actually liking that. The only thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put some blue down here to kind of reflect the sky a little bit. And the rest of it, because I didn't intend on having green mountains, but now that they're there, I'm like, okay, why not? So this is going to be a weird one, folks. Actually, I'm not going to say folks. There's only guys that follow my channel. The last 30 days, I think it was, my demographic is all male over 65. So, guys, we're going to go with guy colors. Blue and green. Mixed in together. A little bit more blue here. There we go. I wanted to get a nice gradual blend, the gradient going up a little bit. Just a little bit. There we go. Okay, I like that. Okay, what I'm going to do now, wipe off brush. Will not clean said brush. That was close. I almost missed. You gotta see the size garbage bag I have? I almost missed the thing. You can almost put a person in this garbage bag. I'm about a foot away and I almost missed it with the paper towel. I wonder why I never played in the NBA. That and being slow, can't shoot, and only 6'1.5", I think there are other factors as well, but you never know. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna waste another brush. So I'm going to put in some clouds. I love doing clouds like this for a lot of reasons. One, I don't want to call my style haphazard, but to a degree it is, okay? I don't like to fuss. You know, for me, I found out when I create and kind of go off the cuff, my stuff becomes more interesting and a little bit more creative, and things happen a little bit better. When I really plan stuff out is when I have a tendency to overthink it, and it's just like a train wreck. So if I look like I'm haphazard, I have something in mind, but to a degree I am. And that's another thing I just want to, don't take yourself too seriously. I don't give a shit if you're a professional artist and you're getting $10,000 a painting. When you start taking yourself too seriously, you're going to get tight. When you get tight, people are going to see the tightness in your work. So stay loose as best you can. That is my pro tip. I've sold a decent amount of paintings in my life. Hopefully this show season I sell a pretty good amount more. And I know for a fact with my own work, when I'm too tight with my work, I can see it. I'm only putting that in for shadows and just a little interest, and that's just straight Payne's Gray. And then we're going to do our, remember, we don't blend. We take the brush. You can use a fan brush, whatever you want, but we're using our 1.5 inch gesso brush. Nice and gently, remember? We're not trying to blend the paint into the background. We're just trying to move it. Just trying to spread it out. There we go. See? I'm not blending anything. Just moving it on the surface. And then after we get the other side, we'll clean it up. We'll clean it up. Now we go the other direction. Just like that. You can hear it on the canvas too. There we go. I had a little bit more paint in there, so I'm going to wipe that off. Now I'll go straight across. And look at the way I'm holding it. I'm holding it tight enough to keep it from falling out of my hand. That's it. And then we're going to take a fan brush in a few seconds, and we're going to basically shape the bottoms just a little bit. Okay? Smaller fan brush. There we go. So we're just going to clean this up. Just the bottoms. And when I see stuff that I like, I'll keep it. When I see stuff I don't like, I'm going to get rid of it. Like, see these little things coming out? I don't know if you can see it on video. I like that. That looks cool. Little things here. That one I like. So just get these little things here and there you like. You keep it, and I got this nice little look to it. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. Okay, so next thing we're going to do. Okay, we're going to use more Payne's Gray and a little bit of our raw sienna together. We're going to reestablish our mountain. Now, the green we have underneath is not going to be disappeared. Not going to be disappeared. Oh my goodness. Forgive my English. It is not going to disappear. It'll still be there. It's still going to show through in places. You're still going to get a glimpse of it. What this is doing is it's giving me a nice darker base, so my highlights come out a little bit better. And then it's also going up to where the sky is to make sure I don't have any canvas showing through. And remember, I cut the sky in after I put in the mountains. And this doesn't even have to go all the way down. It doesn't matter. Most things when I paint doesn't matter. You just do what you feel is best and go from there. I know some of you people are serious about your art, and that's good. I am as well. But you can't be so serious where your spontaneity suffers. Your spontaneity is what's going to create beautiful art. I think I mentioned this once before. And if I didn't, great. If I did, bear with me. There's an episode of MASH. I love MASH. It's one of my favorite shows ever. And it was where there's a concert pianist that was wounded. And Dr. Winchester was the one that was working on him. And a couple of his fingers were paralyzed on his right hand, I think it was, maybe. And the guy couldn't play anymore. Not the way he was. And he convinced him to play music that was designed for the left hand only. And one of the reasons that he gave that he should try this is he said that he knows a joy already that I, meaning Major Winchester, will never know to play. He said, I can play the notes, but I can't make the music. Okay, so that's a long-winded explanation of what I'm talking about with art. Anybody can lay paint down, but to create art, that has to come from the heart. That's where the spontaneity comes from. That's where the whatever comes from. You can do the same identical composition 1,000 times and still have 1,000 different pieces of art. Because one, you can never copy it exactly and make it perfect. And two, every time you do it, depending on how your day went, how your morning went, how you slept, whatever the case may be, all that stuff plays in your color selection and how much paint you put on, how little, whatever the case may be. So my advice to you is allow for spontaneity. Don't take yourself too seriously. Enjoy the ride. And when you let go and let what I call your inner artist take over, that's when the true art is created. Other than that, you can do paint by numbers for all you know. That's all it is. But when you let go and you let your insides take over, like people do when they play music, that is when beauty occurs. Now, spontaneity. I have all this mountain color that I just saw in there I wanted to get rid of. And I put it on there by accident. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, that looks good. So I started putting it everywhere else. I'm not going to cover it, but I'm going to put the ripples in. Where it's a little too dark, I'll blend it out. Where it's not, I'll leave it alone. That to me looks really good. I like it. Again, that happens when you let go and you allow things to happen. Now, if you're an accountant or some kind of a controller or something in life, yeah, you're not really going to have the opportunity to do that. But if you play a musical instrument, if you paint, if you draw, oh, you most certainly will be able to do that. Okay, now I'm re-establishing a shoreline. Just a little bit of one. There we go. Here we go. Okay. I apologize for preaching, but I took myself way too seriously for too many years. I stunted my growth as an artist for a long time. I tried to make every stroke perfect. And when I finally had an artist tell me, a real artist, repeatedly, to relax, let go, and enjoy the process, get out of your own way, so to speak. When I finally had the courage to do it, and when I say courage to do it, I'm not trying to be dramatic. Us humans like to control everything. And when there's a thought of something that's not in our control, it freaks us out, especially when it comes to art, whatever the case may be. So when I finally got over that and I had enough courage to just say, screw it, I'm going to do what this guy says, my art started becoming art instead of just, canvas with paint thrown on it. So that's all I'm trying to get through to you, is just get out of your own way. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. Okay, now I'm just going to use some raw sienna. I'm going to put some highlights on. But the way this is, I don't want it too bright. I may have to put some white in it. I'll see how it goes. But I don't want... I don't think I got these highlights good enough. I think I'm going to have to add some white on it. That one might be good. Let's see here. A little bit of white. I'll add the white here because I want these a little closer. A little bit here. squirt out a little bit more white because I'm using a lot more of it than I thought I was going to. You still want to be raw sienna dominant here. I don't want this in your face highlights, but you definitely got to see the highlights. Now when I add some phthalo blue, you're going to see it a little bit better. But in the meantime, I'm trying to put this on rough, almost like it would be with the palette knife, actually. This one I'm going to leave alone. And here, one more. I'll get to go back. Okay, the only thing I got to do is here just a little bit more. I'll take this white that I've got a lot of stuff in. There we go. I want this to be a little darker highlight. Part of it's going to be closed up, covered, I should say, from, I'm going to have some trees and stuff over there, but the rest of it is looking like I want it. Okay. This is coming out good. I wasn't exactly sure what I had in mind when I started today. That's why I did what I normally do, especially when I'm not sure. I just put in the horizon with, you know, landscape colors and kind of let it go from there. It's going to be a bitch in the beginning doing it the way I do it when you don't have anything really in mind. And go ahead, if you see stuff online, pictures from wherever that you want to try to do, please do. But the way I do it, lends itself to creativity to the point where, for the most part, this place doesn't exist. Now, you do get a lot of compositions that have a similar look to them compositionally, but the way it's executed is always completely different. I hope that makes sense to you. And I'm not babbling. I don't like to babble. I do it well, but I don't like to babble. Okay, now I have, forgive my English today, I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. Phthalo blue and white. Just for some shadows. And I'm blending it a little bit with what's underneath. And that kind of gives it the right look. I mean, a lot of trees here, so I'm not even going to bother with this too much. Up here, not as much. Where you know you're going to have it covered with something, by all means, don't worry about it. Where you're not sure, cover it. You can always go over it. One of the beauties of painting, especially oil and acrylics. Watercolors, you don't do it so much like that. Be a good way to get mud. Let me see here. There we go. Okay, I like that. Okay, so I'm going to wipe this brush off. Now, my next phase here is down here. I want to get this established of where it's at. So we're going to go with the raw sienna and the Payne's gray. We're going to get this nice and dark. It's a little bit of a light hue to it. Not going to be rocks here. This will be green. And it's going to have some stuff coming up for flowers and shit. Reeds, whatever the case may be. But I wanted to get that set. Okay. Excuse me. Next thing on our agenda for today. Take out more paper towels. Because the 6 or 7 folds that I already had set out for the beginning of this painting are already gone. I really hope you guys enjoy the palette knife work when we start that towards mid to end of April. It's a little challenging. It's a little intimidating. But I tell you what, once you start to get a hang of it just a little bit, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And what's cool about it is the texture is so much similar to nature itself. You know, you can feel the bark in nature. Well, you can feel the bark on a tree you make with a palette knife as well. You can do it with a brush, just a lot more difficult. A lot more difficult. Okay, so the way we're going to make our trees, you've seen this 100 times. There's phthalo green, rather, with their Payne's gray. We're just going to tap them in. But I'm going to leave a lot of mountain in. I'm going to go up over it, into it a little bit at places, like here. But I'm going to leave a lot of mountain visible. I really like the way these shadows and stuff turned out, so I'm not going to hide it all. A little bit more Payne's gray. There we go. Now I'm just using the corner of the brush, okay, just this corner, to put in little stuff like it's going to be bushes here and stuff. And what I'll do is I'll tap in little highlights when I do the trees themselves. All the way up with that one. One more. There we go. Okay, that works. Now, this one's going to be a little tricky because of the perspective. I'm going to start from the bottom. This is going to be a cross. And I'm going to make this whole thing here. It's going to be like a dense forest here. I'm going to establish where my forest is. And I'll go up a little bit here and there. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to wipe off the brush. Now, we haven't cleaned the brush yet with water. This is the water mixable from Holbein. And we have not done it yet. You don't believe me? Look how clear that water is. We haven't touched it yet. And we used 3 brushes, so that's a good thing. So, now let's get everything right. this is going to stay in my water. My dirty water in some areas is going to really enhance the way this painting is. However, I'm not going to put the highlights on the water yet. I want to get the trees highlighted, and then I want to get this done, and then I'm going to do, actually I'll do this last. So I'm going to get the trees and the ground there, the mid-ground highlighted. Then I'll do the highlights in the water. Then we'll take care of this, and that'll be a painting. Okay, so normally we go with the palette knife with this, and I think we will again. Okay, we'll go with our nice diamond knife right into cad yellow light hue. Now we're not going to put it on crazy thick. I'm just touching and letting the canvas take what it wants. But I'm going to come through and get the yellow out. And then it'll be just green, which is what we want. And this, doing the palette knife like I'm doing, it doesn't really take that much work. Because, or practice I should say, you're literally just having it completely flat, touching the canvas and then lifting. And these I'm going to have a little darker green because where it's at is probably going to be in shadow. If this was a real place, this lower stuff probably wouldn't be as bright. Over here probably would be. Just mixing now by doing the same stroke, which isn't actually a stroke, it's just letting the knife blend to make this beautiful green. You know, I love the yellow, okay, but I don't want bright yellow on these trees. Maybe here and there, but not that much of it. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so now I'm going to do the ground. Do it the same way. Okay. Now here's the next thing. Wiping off my knife. So you see how the knife works. It's got a nice taper. Okay. So this part of the blade down stays rigid and then this bends. So we're going to take advantage of that and get a decent amount of paint at the tip. And that's where we'll do a little bit of bushies. It takes a while because you got to reload a bunch. But you can really maneuver it real nice. There we go. Okay. Do the same thing down here. Okay. Yeah, I'm liking that a lot. I'll go a little taller there. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just throwing paint on, and then I'm going to do the same technique I've been doing. This is just a quick way to get a lot of paint on at once. That's okay. That's going to be stuff up there. I'm going to have a fan brush bring some stuff up. Actually, I'm not going to use a fan brush. I'm going to use this. Let's move this back just a hair, and hopefully I don't hit the tripod. I'm doing the same thing that I did for the trees, just a much smaller, just much smaller, that's all. And now I'm going to get this because it's going to be on grass. And this is going to show the texture of grass and the slope. Okay. Now, almost done. The rest of it's going to be some phthalo green to darken it up in places. You want contrast. You don't want this whole same value here of the grass. So you put some phthalo green along with your Payne's gray. Now you do your Payne's gray. There we go. Oh yeah, that looks real good. Okay, so the only thing left, and I got a bigger palette knife for that because I got a lot of water. Wipe off the smaller one, get out the bigger knife, okay? We'll just put in some water lines. I'm not going to put a ton in, just a little bit. One of the few paintings we're not using red. There we go. Okay, now the last thing is to pretend they're clouds and use our fan brush. Same thing we do with clouds, just horizontally. Okay, I think we have a completed painting. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I apologize again for taking such a long time off. I will definitely be on schedule for the next few weeks for sure. And back then, anything else that I have differently, I'll be sure to let you know. Otherwise, I hope everybody has a great rest of your weekend and a great work week. Take care.